Stop. Do not click away. If you are watching this, it is not an algorithm accident. It is a divine appointment. I need to speak directly to the heaviness you are feeling in your chest right now. I'm talking about that crushing, unexplainable weight that settled over you exactly 96 hours ago. You woke up, and suddenly, the things that usually bring you joy felt distant. Your body feels like it weighs 500 pounds. Your mind is foggy, like you're trying to think through thick mud. And perhaps the most dangerous part, you have started to tell yourself that you are slipping back into depression. You are telling yourself that you are failing, that you are weak, or that you are losing your spark. Listen to me. You are not depressed. You are in recovery. What you are experiencing right now is a spiritual phenomenon known as post-combat transmutation. And it is critical, vital, that you learn to distinguish this from clinical depression, or the enemy will use your own confusion to finish a job they failed to complete 3 days ago. Let's look at the symptoms. Clinical depression is often characterized by a void, a sense of hopelessness, a lack of feeling, an emptiness where your soul used to be. But that's not what you're feeling right now, is it? Check your internal state closely. Underneath this extreme exhaustion, you don't feel empty. You feel dense. You feel spent. You feel like a marathon runner who has just crossed the finish line and collapsed on the grass. Your battery isn't broken. Your battery is empty because you just discharged a massive, high-voltage pulse of light to neutralize a threat you didn't even see coming. This is the physical cost of being a chosen one. You see, society tells you that spirituality is just meditation and incense. But you know the truth. You know that being a chosen one means you are a transmuter. You are a living, breathing filtration system for this planet. When a coordinated dark attack hits, like the massive wave that was deployed 96 hours ago, your spirit doesn't just dodge it. Your spirit catches it. You absorb that negativity, that chaotic frequency, and you burn it up in the furnace of your own heart to protect your lineage, your home, and your timeline. But here is the science of the spirit that no one talks about. The soul moves at the speed of light, but the body moves at the speed of matter. Your soul fought a war in the astral realms at lightning speed. You won. But your physical body, your nervous system, your adrenal glands, your cellular structure, is biological. It is slow. It takes time to catch up. The exhaustion you feel right now is the friction between your high-speed soul and your high-density body. It is system lag. You are undergoing a biological reboot. Your nervous system is currently recalibrating because the amount of negative energy you just processed would have shattered a normal person. So, the first step to claiming your victory is to change your diagnosis. Stop saying, "I am depressed." Start saying, "I am integrating." Stop saying, "I am weak." Start saying, "I am recovering from a successful defense." The enemy wants you to think this tiredness is a sign of defeat. They want you to lay in bed and think, "What is wrong with me?" Nothing is wrong with you. Everything is right with you. Your system's held. The line held. And now, your body is simply asking for the downtime required to repair the shields. But to understand why this recovery is so intense this time, we have to look at what actually hit you. This wasn't a random bad day. This was a tactical, three-wave assault designed to dismantle you from the inside out. Let me show you exactly what happened. To fully understand your victory, you have to understand the battle plan that was used against you. The entities that target chosen ones do not act randomly. They are ancient, they are strategic, and they follow military-grade protocols. When they realized your light was getting too bright, that you were on the verge of a breakthrough, they didn't just throw a tantrum. They initiated a 3-wave assault protocol. Look back at your week. I am going to describe exactly how this played out. And you will see that this was not just a bad week. It was a coordinated siege. Wave 1 began roughly 96 hours ago. The infiltration, this was the whisper phase. The target here wasn't your body or your bank account. It was your certainty. Notice how it started? It didn't start with a bang. It started with a thought. A sudden, intrusive thought that didn't feel like you. Maybe you were driving or washing dishes, and out of nowhere, a wave of imposter syndrome hit you. Who are you to try this? You aren't actually making progress. Remember that mistake you made 5 years ago? This was the enemy testing the perimeter fence. They were looking for a crack in your psychological armor. They tried to use your own memories to gaslight you, to make you open the door from the inside. But here is the key. You didn't break. You felt the doubt, but you kept moving. You didn't abandon your post. Because Wave 1 failed, they initiated Wave 2 roughly 48 hours ago. The swarm. This is when the battle moved from your head to your environment. Did you notice that suddenly everything outside of you started glitching? We call this the Murphy's Law cluster. Perhaps technology started failing. Your phone froze, the internet dropped during a crucial call, or your car made a noise it's never made before. Or maybe it was the people. This is the Agent Smith effect. People who are usually calm suddenly became aggressive, irrational, or needy. A stranger was rude to you for no reason. A family member picked a fight over nothing. Why does this happen? Because the enemy couldn't get you to lower your vibration through doubt. So they tried to lower it through frustration. They tried to surround you with so much petty chaos that you would snap, lose your temper, and drop your shield. But look at you. You may have gotten annoyed. You may have felt stressed, but you didn't collapse. You handled the glitches. You de-escalated the conflicts. You held the line, which forced them into Wave 3, the extraction. This is where you are right now. When the enemy realizes they cannot trick your mind and they cannot break your reality, they attempt a smash and grab. They launch a direct assault on your bioenergetic field to siphon whatever energy they can before they are forced to retreat. This happened yesterday. This is why you felt that sudden crash. It wasn't a gradual tiredness. It felt like someone pulled the plug out of the wall. Your limbs got heavy. Your eyes burned. You wanted to sleep for 1,000 years. This was the final desperation of a losing army. They were trying to tax your system so heavily that you would give up on your spiritual mission just to survive physically. But here is the truth they didn't expect. You are still standing. You are watching this video. You are conscious. You survived the infiltration. You navigated the swarm. And you are currently withstanding the extraction. If this sequence, mind, environment, body, sounds familiar to you, then you have your confirmation. You were not unlucky. You were targeted. And because you are still here, holding your light, you are, by definition, undefeated. But you need to understand why they went to such great lengths. They don't expend this much ammo on average targets. They only send a 3-wave assault when the target possesses something more valuable than gold. They were coming for your Loosh. Let me explain what that is and why they left empty-handed. Now that you see the timeline of the attack, the logical question is, why? Why would an entire legion of dark entities coordinate such a massive resource dump just to ruin your Tuesday? Is it because they hate you? Is it because you are bad? No. It is much colder and much more calculated than that. They don't hate you. They are hungry. In the esoteric circles and higher levels of spiritual knowledge, there is a term you need to know. Loosh. Loosh is spiritual currency. It is raw emotional energy. To the entities that operate in the lower astral dimensions, intense human emotion is food. It is the fuel that powers their existence. But they cannot digest just any energy. High-frequency energy, love, peace, joy, gratitude, is toxic to them. It burns them like acid. What they crave, what they hunt for, is dense, low-vibrational energy. Fear, rage, despair, jealousy, and most importantly, hopelessness. Here is the hard truth about why you were targeted. You are a high-voltage generator. Because you are a chosen one, your soul processes energy at a capacity 10 times higher than the average person. When a sleeper gets angry, it produces a spark. When you get angry, it produces a wildfire. Your energy is premium, high-octane fuel. To these entities, you are not just a person. You are a walking nuclear reactor. The three-wave assault I just described. That wasn't a battle for your soul's destination. It was a harvesting operation. Think back to the swarm. When people were rude, when the car broke, when the technology failed. The enemy didn't care about your car. They didn't care about your internet connection. They were poking you. They were desperately trying to provoke an explosive, emotional reaction. They needed you to scream. They needed you to spiral into a panic attack. They needed you to collapse into a puddle of victimhood. Why? Because you have to release the energy for them to eat it. If you stay centered, if you stay in your power, your energy remains sealed in your auric field. They cannot touch it. They can only eat what you throw out in a moment of loss of control. And this is exactly why you won. This is exactly why the attack stopped so abruptly, 96 hours after it began. You starved them. Yes, you felt the pressure. Yes, you felt the stress. But did you notice? You didn't explode. You didn't shatter. You maintained a gray rock demeanor. You observed the chaos. You felt the exhaustion. But you didn't give them the banquet of despair they ordered. You essentially forced them to spend $1 million on an operation to rob a bank, only for them to break into the vault and find it locked tight. This is basic economics of spiritual warfare. It costs them energy to attack you. If they spend massive energy attacking you and you give them zero reaction in return, they go bankrupt. They operate on a return on investment basis. You became too expensive to attack, so they retreated. Not out of mercy, but out of starvation. You didn't just survive. You caused a famine in the enemy camp simply by holding your peace. However, holding that door shut while 1,000 entities try to kick it down requires a massive physical toll. Your spirit won the war, but your body is the battlefield where it took place. And right now, your body is showing specific, undeniable signs of that struggle. Let's check your symptoms. I told you that your exhaustion is a medal of honor. But let's get specific. When a human body houses a spirit that is at war, it leaves physical evidence. We call this energetic forensics. If you are truly a chosen one who just survived the 96-hour assault, you won't just be tired. You will be experiencing at least 3 of the following 5 specific physiological anomalies right now. Check your body against this list. Exhibit A, the high-frequency whine. Have your ears been ringing? Not a dull roar, but a sharp, high-pitched frequency, usually in the left ear. Medical science calls it tinnitus. In spiritual warfare, this is the sound of frequency shielding. Think of it like a dog whistle. When dark entities approach your field, your higher self automatically raises your vibration to a pitch they cannot tolerate. That ringing sound is the hum of your force field operating at maximum capacity. It is the sound of your spiritual Wi-Fi router blocking a hacker. Exhibit B, the 3 a.m. sentry mode. For the last 3 nights, have you woken up abruptly between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m.? You aren't groggy. You wake up wide awake, heart pounding, mind racing. This is not insomnia. This is sentry duty. The veil between dimensions is thinnest during this hour. Your spirit detected movement in the ether and slammed your body awake to be on guard. You weren't sleeping poorly. You were on night watch. Exhibit C, the Atlas burden. Check your neck and shoulders right now. Is there a sharp, inexplicable tension right at the base of your skull? We call this the Atlas syndrome. In energetic anatomy, the back of the neck is the Alta Major center. It is the entry point for telepathic data. When you are under psychological attack, wave 1, this center becomes congested. You are physically carrying the weight of the portal you are defending. No amount of massage fixes this, because it is not a muscle knot. It is energetic residue. Exhibit D, the electrolyte crash. Are you unquenchably thirsty, or suddenly craving salt, protein, and heavy foods? Listen to your body. Spiritual warfare is an electrical event. Your nervous system is a grid of nerves firing electrical impulses. After a massive battle, your electrolytes are burned out. You are craving salt because your body is trying to rebuild its conductivity. You are craving meat or heavy carbs because you need to ground. You need density to anchor your spirit back into this reality. Exhibit E, thermal fluctuation. Have you experienced sudden, weird temperature changes? 1 minute you are freezing cold, shivering under a blanket. The next, you are having a hot flash. This is auric friction. It happens when high-density negativity rubs against high-frequency light. Your body is essentially trying to regulate its temperature while sitting next to a spiritual bonfire. The verdict: if you found yourself nodding to these symptoms, stop worrying that you are getting sick. These are not symptoms of an illness. These are the scorch marks left on the tank armor after it deflected a missile. Your body took the hit, so your soul didn't have to. But here is the most incredible part. You survived this onslaught without even knowing how you were doing it. You were using advanced spiritual weapons completely unconsciously. Imagine what you could do if you knew how to use them on purpose. Let me show you the hidden arsenal you just deployed. There is a common misunderstanding in spiritual warfare that you need to unlearn immediately. It is the belief that you survived this attack simply because you were protected. That word, protection, implies passivity. It suggests you were just a helpless child hiding behind a cosmic shield, waiting for the danger to pass. That is a lie. You were protected, yes, but you were not a passenger in your own rescue. You were the active combatant. You were the one holding the sword. The reason the enemy has classified you as Omega level is not because you are lucky. It is because during the last 96 hours, you unconsciously deployed 3 advanced spiritual technologies that most people spend lifetimes trying to master. You did it on autopilot. Let me hand you the user manual for the weapons you just used, so next time, you can fire them consciously. Weapon number 1, timeline locking. Think back to the fear amplifiers. Those 200 demons that tried to make you panic about the future. They showed you visions of you failing, of you losing everything, of you ending up alone. But what did you do? You worried for a moment, and then you shrugged. You continued to do your laundry. You continued to go to work. You may think that was just coping. No, that was timeline locking. In quantum mechanics, a reality only solidifies when an observer collapses the wave function with emotion. By refusing to emotionally engage with the catastrophe scenarios, you refused to sign the contract for that timeline. You essentially looked at the disaster movie they were projecting and said, "I'm not buying a ticket to that." You starved the negative future of the energy it needed to manifest. Weapon number 2, the frequency mirror. There were moments in the last few days when someone tried to provoke you. A rude boss, a difficult partner, a chaotic stranger. You felt the anger rise, but you chose silence. You bit your tongue. You might think you were just being polite or passive. Wrong. Silence, when maintained under pressure, acts as a frequency mirror. When you don't react to low-vibrational chaos, that energy has nowhere to land. Physics dictates it must return to its source. By remaining silent, you didn't just take it. You bounced the attack back to the sender with double the velocity. That is why the people who attacked you this week are likely having a very bad day today. They are eating the poison they tried to feed you. Weapon number 3, alchemical transmutation. This is the rarest weapon of all. It is the ability to feel pain, feel the exhaustion, feel the heaviness, and keep your heart open anyway. Most humans, when attacked, close their hearts. They become bitter. They become cold. You didn't do that. You felt the weight of the world, yet you were still kind to the cashier. You were still gentle with your pets. You still hoped for a better tomorrow. That is alchemy. You took the lead of their heavy energy and through the sheer stubbornness of your spirit, transmuted it into the gold of continued compassion. That terrifies them. An enemy you can hurt is normal. An enemy that takes your hurt and turns it into fuel, that is invincible. You didn't just survive a beating. You conducted a masterclass in energetic defense. You did it while you were tired, while you were confused, and while you were blind to the war. Imagine how powerful you will be now that you have your eyes open. But there is still one lingering question. Why you? Why does the dark side care so much about your specific light? It's not just about Loosh. It's about your location on the map. You are part of something much bigger than just your individual life. We need to zoom out. It is easy to think that this battle was personal, that it was just about your life, your problems, or your bad luck. But that is a limited view. The truth is far more significant. You are not just a chosen one in a symbolic sense. In the higher dimensional schematics, you serve a specific technical function. You are designated as a grid worker. Think of the Earth like a human body. Just as your body has acupuncture points, specific nodes that regulate the flow of energy for the whole system, the Earth has a crystalline grid. This grid is what maintains the frequency of the planet. But here is the catch. The grid doesn't run on electricity. It runs on consciousness. It requires human batteries to hold the charge at specific geographic locations. You are one of those batteries? Why were you attacked so viciously 96 hours ago? It wasn't because you forgot to pray. It wasn't because you have bad karma. It was because the strategic command of the dark forces identified you as a high-lumen node. They looked at the map of your city or your family lineage, and they saw a massive pillar of light coming from your location. You are the stabilizing force in your environment. When you are high vibe, your home is stable. Your workplace is stable. The people around you are calmer. You are literally broadcasting a Wi-Fi signal of peace that covers a 5-mile radius. The enemy knows this. Their logic is simple. If we can take her down, we don't just dim one light. We darken the whole neighborhood. If they can get you to fall into despair, the grid in your sector flickers. If they can get you to give up on your mission, a strategic node goes offline. This is why the attack felt so disproportionate to your daily life. You were sitting on your couch, thinking you were just fighting a bad mood. In reality, you were holding the line for the collective consciousness of your area. You were acting as a breakwater for a tidal wave of negativity that was trying to flood your community. And because you stood firm, because you used your timeline locking and your frequency mirrors, the wave broke against you. It didn't pass through. You protected people who don't even know your name. You shielded family members who criticize you. You stabilized a timeline for a world that often ignores you. That is the job. That is what it means to be a grid worker. It is a thankless, invisible, high-pressure job. But you were built for it. So, when you look in the mirror and see those dark circles under your eyes, do not see a victim. See a generator that just kept the lights on during a hurricane. But now, the hurricane has passed. The generator is hot, smoking, and running on fumes. You cannot stay in this state, or you will burn out. We need to cool you down. We need to clear the debris. You need a protocol to exit war mode and return to creator mode. Here is exactly how you do it. You have won the war. Now you must survive the peace. Most chosen ones fail here. They survive the demon attack, but they succumb to the toxicity of the residue left behind. They stay exhausted for months because they never properly decontaminated their field. Do not make that mistake. You don't need a year of therapy to fix this. You need 24 hours of intentional alchemy. I am giving you the Phoenix Protocol. It is a 3-step bioenergetic reset designed to scrub the astral mud off your aura and close the doors you fought so hard to defend. Step 1. Hydrotherapy neutralization. Tonight, water is not just for hygiene. It is your medicine. Take a bath or a shower, but you must add salt. Himalayan salt, Epsom salt, or sea salt. Why? Because salt is a crystalline structure that neutralizes static electricity. The battle you just fought has left your auric field highly charged with static chaos. As the water hits your skin, visualize it not as water, but as white liquid light. As it goes down the drain, visualize gray sludge leaving your body. That sludge is the loosh the enemy tried to harvest. Do not keep it. Wash it away. Step 2. The cord-cutting visualization. You faced energy drainers, vampiric entities that hooked into your solar plexus to siphon your fuel. Even though they retreated, the hoses might still be attached. Sit in a quiet chair. Close your eyes. Imagine massive, thick cables extending from your stomach area out into the dark. These are the drains. Now, visualize a sword made of blue electric fire in your hand. On the count of 3, in your mind, swing. Cut the cords. Watch them snap back into the darkness. Then, visualize a golden seal, like a patch of liquid sun, covering your solar plexus. Say out loud, I revoke all permission. My energy is my own. You will feel a physical snap in your stomach. That is the return of your power. Step 3. Earthing discharge. This is non-negotiable. You must touch the ground. Your body is a battery that is currently overcharged with electromagnetic radiation from the spiritual warfare. You need to ground the wire. Go outside, take off your shoes. Put your bare feet on grass, dirt, sand, or concrete. If you cannot go outside, touch a living plant, or hug a tree, you need the Schumann resonance of the earth to stabilize your nervous system. 5 minutes is enough. You will feel a subtle tingling in your legs. That is the excess voltage draining out of you and into the earth, which can handle it. Do these 3 things within the next 24 hours. Water to cleanse, fire to cut, earth to ground. If you do this, the exhaustion will lift not in weeks, but in days. You will feel the fog clear. You will feel the atlas weight vanish from your neck. You have proven you are a warrior. Now, prove you are wise enough to heal. So, where does this leave you? You are tired. You are sore. You are recovering. But do not mistake this moment for the end. This is the new baseline. Every time you survive a wave of this magnitude, every time you face 1,000 demons and refuse to bow, your spirit expands. It creates a callus of light. You are not the same person you were 96 hours ago. You are denser. You are sharper. You are more dangerous to the darkness than you have ever been. The exhaustion you feel will fade. The ringing in your ears will stop. The heaviness will lift. But the strength you built in the dark, that stays. The discernment you gained, that stays. The knowledge that you are unbreakable, that is permanent. The enemy retreated because they realized a terrifying truth about you. You are anti-fragile. Fragile things break under pressure. Resilient things withstand pressure. But anti-fragile things get stronger when attacked. They realized that by throwing darkness at you, they weren't burying you. They were polishing you. They were knocking the dust off your diamond. So let them retreat. Let them go back to the shadows and rewrite their strategies. It doesn't matter what they try next, because now you know the secret. You know that you are not just a survivor of the war. You are the master of the battlefield. Now, we must seal this victory. Spiritual contracts must be signed in the physical dimension. You need to anchor this truth into your reality right now. I want you to go to the comment section below and write a decree. Do not write it for me. Write it for the universe to see. Write it to tell the enemy that the door is shut. Write these 4 words: I am the fortress. Let that be your signal to the grid. Let that be the frequency you broadcast to every entity that watches you. You are not a victim. You are not a target. You are the fortress. Rest now, Chosen One. Drink your water. Touch the earth. The war is over. You won. Welcome to your new level.